Hello, everyone. I think we are live. I'm pretty sure we are. If you can see me, if you can hear me, let me know. Because I'm not always sure, but it says we're live, then I'm pretty sure that's true. Welcome to the Livecoding lesson with AskQL number 7. Today we're going to continue learning about queries. We did learn about queries last time. It was our lesson number 6. It's available on our Twitter and Facebook. It will be uploaded on our YouTube channel as well pretty soon. So, can anyone see me and hear me? Let me know in the comments on Facebook or on Twitter. I would really appreciate that. Okay. And today, oh, thank you, Jamesma. Thanks for that. I appreciate your comment. So, if you're ready to learn about queries, we're here together with Martin Hagmeyer today. And Martin, you're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Hello again. Yeah, so last time Martin wasn't here. Łukasz Czerwiński was here, who is the second main contributor to AskQL. But today we're back as usual with Martin, who is the main contributor and inventor of AskQL. So Martin, if you didn't know, we learned about queries. We continued the topic last time, and we learned about nested queries, for example, as well. And I also learned that, this data set within a query, it's called a list. I think you said that too, but it also can be named an array, right? So
yeah.
And one more thing that was quite surprising, but I learned that you start counting elements within a query from 0 till n-1, which was a bit surprising, but yeah, I remember that, so I'm kind of happy with myself.
Show me some of the things that you have learned to do in the CLI on the last lesson and the previous ones.
Okay. Let me go to the CLI, guys. So if you want to keep learning with us, then all you really have to do is to have this live stream on, and you should be able to open our CLI text editor where we just code, and it's linked in the description. So it's cli.asql.org, and you can do all the coding within that tool. You don't really need any text editor at this point. And yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen and I'll let you. Okay. So this is it. You can also make the font bigger if you need. I need that. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we did last time, as far as I remember, for example, we created a query. So let's find a name for a query. It can be, we you can take L, right, as list. And so you can say what is within that list by just, creating elements, right?
Yeah.
And these elements have to be in quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, now how you call for the element, because you're starting to count from 0 to n-1, right? Then if you want to call for A, we're gonna put, oh no, you have to close this. And then if you're calling for L, I think it should return the whole. Yeah. What am I doing wrong with LB?
It seems like we're closing something twice.
What happened?
I think the problem is the curly braces. It seems like you close it 2 times.
2 times. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
What is this Q letter? Okay.
Yep. It was supposed to be. Yeah, okay. There we go.
Yay.
Yeah. But if you want to ask for the specific element for an A, you go like this, right? So you just call for the first element within that array, and it happens. So you call for 0 because 0 is the first element, not 1, 0, right? So you get A, and then that would be 1, and that would be 2. So you can also, do you have to call for a query? If I want to call for this specific if I want to call for something that it's already implemented to the resources, should I put query here and then put the name of the query? Or should I just go parents and it should return? Oh yeah, so it works without it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember that we wanted to ask for a napkin, right? We want just to return a napkin. So how do you do that within the whole set? You have the set, you have that list consisting of 2 elements that consist of 2 other elements. So if I remember correctly, each of these this is one element, right? And this is the second element. So we need to look within the second element, and with a dot, we're asking from the first name from the second element. And if I did it correctly, it should return a napkin right here. So let's check. No. Why not?
It has to do with 0. Remember 0
Oh, yeah,
base
I'm sorry.
indexing.
Right? So there you go, right?
There you go.
Second element, but it's the first, it's number 1 because you go 0, 1, 2, and so on. Yeah. So yeah, I remember that in terms of queries, for example.
Awesome. Okay. So let's do a simple test to check, the real programming skills here.
Oh no.
AskQL is not a widely used known language. However, it can be used for programming already. So, for instance, like how would you go about outputting 100 letters on the right side? Let's imagine like you want to output a text that's 100 letters long and consists of the same letter, for instance, just to see if you can. How would you go about outputting a really long text on the screen on the right side?
Mm-hmm. You would have to loop, for example, or repeat, or repeat concat maybe for 99 times.
Correct. I think that's the correct ingredients. Let's see what's the longest text that you can write on the output here.
I don't know how to even know that. Like, I don't know how many letters.
So, I mean, you wrote down Anakin. That's a 6 letters long text.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do if you wanted to do more, like a bigger one, a bigger text, for instance, like Anakin, 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 something like that? I just like this is to see like if we can truly do anything that comes to our mind, with programming. We should be able to do anything that we like.
Well, I need to tell it to print it out for 100 times. So,
Right.
I don't know if you can, like, I would use this and if I do it like this, maybe it will return Anakin twice. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. How do we make more? That's a good step. That's I like it. So we already have a twice long text as we used to. So that's a good progress. Like, how do we do even more?
This I don't know. I don't know how to tell it. Just keep going for 98 times. I don't
How
know.
would you make it go 3 times?
I can put it another one here.
Okay.
So it's gonna go like this.
Right.
Then I can do it for maybe oh no. Oh okay. So you're making a concat out of this concat, which is already 3 times, and then you can go +1. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it works. No, it doesn't. There's
Probably something with the brackets, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah, you see, with text-based languages, it's sometimes hard to figure out the structure of things. Like, I suppose you want to like do a concat and then like concat it again. Is that it? All right.
Yeah. So this is what should happen within that one concat,
Yeah.
and it works. And then
the second one, Yeah.
And right away. And it should work like this.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Cool. So yeah, that's good. That's more progress. As you can see, like this program gets longer. I mean, the source code on the left side, it gets longer. It grows. It becomes more difficult to manage the source code. Do you agree?
yeah.
Yeah. How can we make it simpler? Like have the same result but simpler code.
Like I know there has to be a count number implemented into the source code, but I don't know how to do it. Like we had that one example and it was like really hard for me to understand that. So I don't know.
Maybe it would be useful to have a variable or a constant that stores some of this text that you want to reuse.
So for example, let A be maybe this, and then I can put and I can put another A here and it should be the same. But it's not. Not the same, but longer. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Nice.
So A is 4 times Anakin.
Yeah. It seems like we still have repetitions in the code. So this is something that you're gonna try to avoid, having repetitions in the code, because like imagine like the first name becomes something else, or it just like lives in a different place, then you would need to go and change it in multiple places at the same time. So this is something that you would not want in like a real programming language. So you would have, I imagine, another a constant that just gets this first name and then uses it. You see, so we don't have this multiple repetitions of the same thing.
But do you mean here? Should we make this part shorter? Or the problem is that here we have a repetition?
I think that what's suboptimal about the program here is that we repeat the parents' first name 3 times here. I think it's it can lead to more like the maintenance trouble. Okay, nice.
We should have 6 times.
Yeah. How do you make 7 or 16? How do you make more? Let's make more.
I can go 9 and then 12.
What do you think is the biggest number that you can do?
I don't know. I don't know how many letters fit in here.
Yeah, me neither. I never checked, but it seems like the text is not wrapped. It just goes like on the same line. So perhaps, yeah.
There is no limit. There might be no
Yeah.
limit.
Yeah. That's right. I think it's this becomes a little bit similar to like we did factorial. You remember there was like the thing that was repeated enough times to come up with a result for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for instance, like imagine like we wanted to write this Anakin 100 times, right? How would you go about doing this 100 times?
I have to get rid of repeating A 100 times and instead like come up with some elegant function.
Okay, it sounds promising.
Which is probably nested. So that's the hardest thing I did while learning this SQL. Like for some reason, I'm struggling with operating functions on strings, on texts. On text, it's kind of like quite difficult. So obviously, it would have to be recursive, so we would have to nest, right? Another concat. And say something here. I don't know. This is just, how do I tell it to take A and glue it together 100 times? I don't know, like.
Okay.
Or 30 times because it's already 3, right? Or I can go 5 and then I need just 25 times, but 25 minus 1 because 1 is already here. If I want to have it like
Yeah.
4. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, and the whole thing is 25. Right?
Yeah. Well, as you said, like doing these things really involves functions because, as you can see, we are very limited with what we're doing here right now because there is really, just like very manual, as you can see. Unless like we introduce like a new functions, as in like creating a new computing ways, then it's just like a doesn't really move us forward that much because we go into like this repetition mode where we just like put in, okay, another letter, another letter, another letter. It gets the job done, but it's not as flexible, as like writing a function would be, like or like a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. But this is like, I cannot come up with an idea how to make it shorter. Like I want to write 5 times N here, but
Okay, that's nice. That's a okay. So how about like what if we had a function, not concat, but something else, like something like multiply text, something which we would give it 5 and the text, and it would just repeat it, this number of times for us, and then return it. Would that not be cool?
Yeah, it would. It would
All right.
solve my problem.
Okay.
Okay. So instead of concat, what do I use?
You can come up with whatever name you wish. Just let's make sure that it's descriptive, so it says what the function is gonna do, and yeah.
Times text. So let this name be something, right? Let this name times text be a function.
Yeah.
Which does times 5 times n, or 100 times n. But this is not the way to tell it to do so.
No, it's not. But let's start simple with the basic function. Let's just make it return the text that it gets. That's it, and then we can, work on it, evolve it to do more stuff. But it's often good to just start simple, I think. So let's make a times text be a function that just, you give it a text and it returns it. Doesn't do really anything else than that.
I don't have to. I already have the n here, but in the function, I should tell it what to do with that text, shouldn't I? Just tell it
yeah.
to do something with that.
So first of all, like ideally, it would accept an argument for the text. So it needs a text coming in to output it. So if you remember, like the function, it can have arguments like in brackets saying, okay, here's like the different things that you need to provide when you call this function. Right. Okay.
So that function uses n, which is this variable right here, which is anakin. And now I have to tell it what it has to do with that n argument.
Yeah. Can we call it a little bit different for, like, for instance, text or or something that would just yeah.
This one?
I meant the one in the function, because this is the one that really gonna matter here.
Do you mean the name of the function, or?
I mean the name of the argument.
Of the argument. Okay, so text.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the function. It's gonna take text, and it should, I guess, return the text, right? So we need to write it again, actually, in the.
So if I do it like this, will it? I'm just gonna no.
Well, first of all, here on line 7, you are outside of the function. Inside of the function, nothing really happens. It's a blank page. So what our intention was to make the function behave certain way. So like inside of the function, inside those curly braces, we need to do stuff that's gonna, produce an answer for us. So yeah.
So what do I do? Do I have to say what the text is?
So actually, the text is something that will be provided to the function when someone calls it. So you can just say text, and this will get whatever is in the text, and will output it, make it result of it. You see, like times text right now is only gonna take text coming in as an argument, and it's gonna return actually the text itself.
Yeah, but it doesn't say what the text is.
What that is? So yeah, this is what an argument is. An argument is something that you don't yet have, and you're only gonna have it when someone actually calls the function. It's a additional information that you need. It's an argument, so you don't need to define it yourself. You can just like expect that it's gonna be there when you run it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the times text. Let's use it. Let's use the function that we defined.
So if I run it, this is what I get.
So what we are running here is we run the let statement, which defines the function. We don't actually run the function. You see, it's just like if you want to run the function, you need to say times text brackets, and then you're gonna run it actually.
All right. So what do I do now? This is quite confusing. I don't know what to do. What do I do?
Okay. So let's see what's going on the screen. So line number 2, we defined a variable called n that holds a first name.
Yeah.
So we have that. On line 3, we defined a function called times text, which is gonna take text and then return it. So these are the two things that are going on that we have in our program.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like, we can start using this. So you could, for instance, say on line 8, you could say n. That would give you the first name now because you have defined it.
Yeah.
Or you could say times text and give it some text in brackets and see how this performs.
Yeah. I can, for example, take Anakin.
Yeah.
And it should give me back Anakin. Yeah.
It does very well. Yeah. So here on line 2.8, you use two things that we have defined: the function and the n variable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's quite awesome. Okay. So the question is like, how do we make the times text function return more than just the text, maybe like twice the text or 3 times the text?
This, I don't know.
You used concat before. Like concat is again something that takes in text, can put it together, create something larger.
I can use concat to return Anakin twice, and I already did that. But then I'm starting to repeat arguments, and it's just not the way to go.
Right. However, yeah, it's not something that we're gonna keep very long. But I just wanted to make this step. We like, so we have a function. This function is gonna do more, and then we're gonna like build on it. So, yeah. Okay. Nice. All right. Yeah. So, do you remember about those recursive functions that can call themselves from within the function to create something bigger? Like you remember, like we had factorial for like factorial of 10. It involved like calling the factorial of 9, which then involved calling factorial of 8, and so on and so on and so on. Here, I suppose it's going to be quite similar, because when you want to create a very long text, then you just keep adding, things to it. Like very similar, like you produce a factorial number.
Yeah, so you can put times text somewhere here, and it's gonna start running all over again, right?
So the times text is a function, so it's always gonna need an argument when you run it. So every time you say times function, you also need to say the brackets and put the argument inside the brackets. Yeah, good.
But now it won't know when to stop.
Yeah, it won't stop. Yeah, you're right.
It should return some kind of an error. Let's see. Yeah. Okay.
So if you remember, like what we did last time, we had a second argument, and the second argument said how many more times you need to run. And if it went to 0, then we would say, okay, no more runs, we stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of, but I mean, this is an example from my this is an example from hell, because like for some reason it's like, I can't get it. Like how many more times? I know it's supposed to run for 100 times and then stop, but like how do I tell it to do so?
So first of all, let's start with, like, we already have the text argument. Let's add the second one, which is gonna be the count argument. So let's say we have text and we have count. So and this is gonna open up really like an opportunity for us to make it behave in this more complex way.
Mm-hmm. Should I put another argument here then?
Yes, that's the that's the place to put it. Exactly.
And count. Okay. Okay.
And so since we have added a new argument everywhere where you call this function, you also need to provide it. You need to specify what the count is every time you run the function. So the times text, what is going to be 100, like we said, or
yeah.
Okay, makes sense. And then on line 5, what's it going to be?
So it starts concat, but then it has to take itself with another argument.
Well, I don't think it should be count again. I think it should be count -1, because as you can see, concat is already gonna add one text to it. You see? So we don't need to repeat it the count times again. We just need to go like count -1, because we already have the concatenated text to it. So part of the job is done. We don't need to repeat the entire thing again. We just need to do a count -1 thing right now. You see?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have that if statement, right?
Yeah, because like the computer is not gonna know that -1, -2, -3 times is gonna mean anything. So we need to write this if statement to say that if count drops below a certain value, then we don't want to do this anymore.
Put it right here. Put it like this. 0. Then was it like this? Or should I? Does that look good? Probably not.
Well, yeah, it's so basically, let's start with the if statement. So it has to do with syntax again. Like this is a text language, so it's kind of weird a little bit. But like, so the count is gonna be in brackets. You see, like you say if, open the bracket, then you put in condition and then close the brackets. Yeah.
Right.
And after the brackets, you need the curly braces, which gonna say, okay, this is the part that I need to run if the condition is right.
This is probably unnecessary.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. That looks better. So the question is, what if the count is below 0? What happens then? What the times text should do if the count is equal or below 0?
It should stop.
Stop. So it should not call concat anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it should what like return I don't know, like an empty string perhaps or something.
Return 0. Or yeah, just
Okay.
is that a representation of an empty string?
Yes, exactly. That makes sense. But I think we use single quotes, not the double quotes. Okay. And then you need the curly braces to close it, right? So it's like has the beginning and has the end. Yeah, that's it. Awesome. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks quite right actually. Like, do you want to try it?
No.
How many Anakins is there?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Can try with a smaller number.
Yay!
It works. Okay. That's the hardest example for me ever in AskQL. It's like, I don't know, I do get factorial and recursive call with factorial, but this is a whole different story for some reason. Like,
Maybe. However, you did it again and much quicker than I was anticipating actually. So good job there. And as you can see, it didn't take a lot of code for us to make. They like, and you can put in like 100 times, 1,000 times, whatever you like. It's just up to you now.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Do you have sometimes parts where when you're probably still learning things, right? As a developer, I think you have to keep learning. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think like pretty much every day, being a programmer, you realize that there is something that you don't know, and yeah, it's always like this. And like the more you know, the more you don't know actually, because you just like your awareness of these things grows. You have more knowledge, but this more knowledge also means that you have more knowledge of the areas that you didn't know before. And like, so it actually keeps growing. Yeah, it's always like you're always, no matter like what stage you are on, like you're always learning. There is the moment when you stop learning is the moment where you actually start this learning things and going down. So if you want to be growing in this industry or any other, actually use always need to be learning. That's it pretty much.
Absolutely. But do you sometimes find yourself where you're like I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna learn it by heart, or uh, do you go with that strategy or way of learning where you have to actually understand this because you won't go any further? Like, which is it?
I think that depends more like on a personal projects and the things that I do sort of like on my own. I like to have the understanding because it like gives me this comfort that like I know that I can do stuff that I'm gonna figure out. It's not gonna be a surprise to me, but for some stuff, especially like the professional stuff, sometimes I would just like skip over the details that I don't think are important for the job. So you don't need to know everything. You really only need to know the things that are important for your job. So I mean there are so many details about the program that you have written down that we could be talking hours and hours about like how does computer really like go about printing Anakin 100 times, and how is it that it's just gonna like show up on your screen, like how does it happen. There is so many more details to it, which I don't think are that important for someone who just wants to get the job done, you see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And guys, if you struggle with some kind of function, let me know, because I would love to know that I'm not the only one who doesn't get like every single detail. Although I would love to, but sometimes it is what it is. And so just let me know what's your strategy of learning to code. I would love to know.
we
So,
we already have a another comment, so we had two comments today
oh
so
no,
far, so
really?
just so you know.
I'm like so focused on what I'm doing that
I know, I know.
Oh, what are we using for streaming? Abraham, we were using StreamYard.com. Really nice tool. So yeah, I recommend. Yeah. So, but you guys, I'm probably not the only person here learning to code. If you're struggling with something, just let me know here or on Twitter. I would love to know, and maybe we could help you out. Actually, Martin could for sure. Yeah. Because probably there is something for every single person that is
Yeah,
more difficult than everything else, right?
yeah.
This is my case, but yeah. Um, so yeah, do we have time to learn something else really quick? We have
I
4 minutes.
uh, yeah. Mm, well, we can play a little bit more with what you have created, just to practice the concept of arguments, because like as you can see
Mm-hmm.
on line 10 we use the times text function with n variables specifically, whereas like we could put in something else, and just have like this be repeated instead. So right, let's imagine like you didn't want to repeat Anakin a number of times, but you just wanted to repeat like a single letter or like a single, I don't know, a digit or something.
So I can just take 0 and repeat it
I think so,
for
yeah. Okay.
or Marta.
All right, Marta, nice. So if you put one letter, yeah, okay, good. Right. So I mean, what is gonna happen like if the second argument is negative, or something else. Really, like
Mm-hmm.
let's play a little bit with this to see what's gonna happen in different scenarios, like testing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much what it is.
I mean, we said that it should return an empty string right here. So that's what should happen. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it works. And the same case with zero. Yeah. All
Quite
good.
nice.
All
Yeah.
good. Mm-hmm. And then I can go with zero here and should give me, if you guys remember. I don't. Oh yeah, let's for 5 minutes.
Another question, my dear, has shown up in the comments list.
Another question. What is Temujin is asking, what is AskScript? Is it another programming language? If so, what is benefit of this language? Here I'm showing the comment. Yes, it is a new programming language. It's a human-friendly programming and query language. And the purpose of this lesson is to show everyone that it's quite easy. Like it's our 7th lesson, and you can go to our YouTube channel if you guys want. I will drop the link down below, and you can see that it's quite easy. Today we have a really hard example, and it's a hard one for me especially. But it's a great language, and yeah, Martin can tell you more because he actually created that. So.
Yeah, well, this new language is quite similar to existing languages. It's just like we made it simpler, so it's easier to teach people programming because the constructs are simpler, and like it's a little bit simpler to write, and we're gonna like keep developing the environment for it, so it's even simpler and perhaps like even more visual than it is currently, so that learning programming is more accessible to everyone. That's pretty much what we are doing. And also, like, this language has some special powers, special features that you're not gonna see in other languages, such as like the queries that we have talked about already. And you can see that in previous lessons, where you can pull out data from whatever server you like and put it together and get it back to you. So like asking for different like computers, different servers for information is a huge part of what is being done on the internet and in computer science. So that's basically what it's good for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And totally, it's also an open source technology. So if you guys want to come check it out, we have our repository on GitHub, and you can read about it there. You can try to help us develop the technology. You can contribute, and just check it out. And we think it's a great language to learn, and it's a really easy one to learn, I think.
Yeah, well, definitely. I think we touch on a bigger subject about like how do people get into the programming industry these days, and I I suppose like starting by learning really specialized languages like JavaScript and Python, it's immediately gonna like throw you into things that are not designed for the learning experience, because it's gonna be like so many different details you need to like figure out. And here, since like the amount of like constructions is limited, but at the same time you still have the full power to express whatever you want, it just makes for an easier, nicer experience where you don't need to be thinking about 100 things at the same time. You can just like go step by step very easily, sort of like we do here, you know. As you can see, like smaller problems, bigger problems, you know, even bigger problems, and just like makes more sense, I think, the path.
Yeah, and you guys, you know what? We are planning to do a project with the use of AskQL to just show you how to use this technology in more practical maybe way, in more practical way. So I think it's going to be also quite interesting for you. And if I can do it, you can do it too. So if you want to just keep learning and do this exercise with us, I will be more than happy to welcome you here. And we have these lessons every Monday at 7 p.m. So you can join me and join Martin and join Lukasz at times in this process of learning the new programming language, basically. Right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I suppose that much of our audience are people who are interested into programming, who want to do more stuff with computers, who are interested in it, who maybe perhaps see like this maybe as a hobby, or maybe also as in like a professional, you know, potential of things that can be done, you know, conveniently from home, even not necessarily, you know, from the office. So it has like, I think these are great times to be learning programming, and the easiest way about it should be the best, perhaps. Yep. Every
Absolutely.
Monday.
Yes. Happy Monday. And yes, it's every Monday at 7 p.m. GMT +2 time zone. So you're more than welcome here. And you guys, if there's anything you would like to learn, or if there's any like problems you have, just let us know. We'll try our best to answer all of your questions. And yeah, hopefully next time we're gonna do a little bit more. This time we needed to go back to that one difficult example, and I really needed to try to go through that one more time and make sure I get it. I think I get it now better than I did last time. So yeah, that's how the learning process looks like. It's not always fun and games, right? So yeah. So yeah, it is what it is. And here you have this opportunity to actually see how it goes. No cuts, live stream, and we are all learning. I'm learning, and Martin is learning as well. So yeah, fingers crossed for all the code newbies out there, and let's learn SQL more next time, next Monday at 7 p.m.
That's right. That's right. And we're gonna do even more difficult examples. I can see that, you know, we are ready for more complicated things, because that went quite quickly, actually, you know.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready. I say let's go for this. Yes, on Wednesday mornings we have a special quiz where you can just check your knowledge and check yourselves answering the questions. If you want to, if you want to do so, you're very welcome to come to our fan page and answer the questions. Another comment. Oh, thank you, Temujin. Yeah, we hope to see you again next week. And let's keep learning, right?
Yep.
Okay. So thanks again. If you guys want to like um, catch up with us later on. We'll leave you our contact information, or you can just reach us through our fan page. And let's stay in touch, and we'll see you next week. So have a great evening, and see you next Monday. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.